It's Danny Lee joining the conversation. It's kind of late, just walking home from my day out at the library and walking near the road. I hope the audio is going to come through. I just have some thoughts today about portals and free will. I have a lot of thoughts on these subjects, but my particular thought today, I was listening to recently a podcast by Brett Weinstein. He has a podcast called The Portal, and he explores ideas that act like portals, take us into basically worlds that we didn't even thought were there. And the more that we investigate, the more that we discover, thus a portal to a new world. One such an example of this, if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about, if you check out his channel, one that he recently did was with a gentleman by the name of London Tsai. London Tsai. I hope I'm not mispronouncing the name. And London Tsai is a artist, and he's trying to move away from this he's trying to move away from this label, but he does essentially mathematical art. And the more they talk about it, the more you realize, wait a minute, there's more to this than I ever even thought about. And thus, as you listen to it, it's as if you're entering the portal. Portals mean a lot to me personally, because I've been working on my own fantasy novel, and it is a portal fantasy. My main character enters a portal, comes out the other side, and he's in a completely different world. He finds that there are things that are the same. For example, he can walk around, there's grass and trees, and but his way of getting on in the world is going to be completely different. And I think that is part of what a portal does. And how does this relate to free will? Well, there are many individuals in the conversation of free will that take the position that free will is an illusion, or it does not exist. One such person is, for example, Sam Harris. I really like Sam Harris. I really find him fascinating. I have his meditation app that I use. I think Sam is one of the greatest thinkers of our day, and whenever he has to say something about a subject, I always like to hear his take on it. I don't agree with him in all things, for sure. I'm actually I'm a religious person myself, but I really enjoy listening to Sam and reading him, and he's very thought-provoking. One of the things he says about free will is that we can't choose our choices, and so we can't choose what we choose from. So if we make a decision, we can't create the circumstances that led to our decision. We're a product always of circumstance and those types of things. And I know I'm not doing a very good job at steel manning his position, but essentially, because we cannot create everything that's involved with our decision, or even hardly anything that's involved with our decision, thus we do not have free will. Of course, it's much more nuanced than that. He's a much better way of putting it than that, but that's one of the points I wanted to just think about today. And I think that this idea of portals in our reality that will take us to strange places, whether it has to do with math or artwork or architecture or nature or science or religion, feelings, emotions, love, all these types of subjects can be portals for us. And they show us exactly how we can be placed in a completely different landscape, and how we have to, our way of getting on in the world is going to be much different. Sorry, it's completely dark right now. No, okay, I'm coming back. And I think that this affects affects this subject of free will. I think the fact that there are portals, that we can discover them, that they already exist, that we discover them, and that we can investigate them. It doesn't seem to me that if there wasn't free will, and of course we can choose how we want to define free will, and that's, I think, a lot of the problem. But if there wasn't free will, we wouldn't have these spaces, these portals to explore. One last thought. I've been working on developing a theory that I haven't heard anyone else talk about, and surely somebody has somewhere, but I haven't heard it, haven't come across it yet. But I believe that we are in a finite universe. I believe it's ending. It's linear. Time moves linear. Things come to an end. And I also believe that might be a good argument that we are in a deterministic universe. However, I, as a religious person, I don't believe that I, as a being, have a beginning or an end. And so my idea that I would like to put forth is, what if we are living in a deterministic universe, but we are placed here as indeterminate beings? I think that would really add a lot of color to the conversation. Me as a being in a universe, I'm, like, for example, the universe is a board game, and the board game has there's a set of rules, and the rules represent determinism, because there can't be any other way to do it. You can't break the rules, basically. I can play the game any way I want to, and me as a being, I come from outside the game, I enter the game, and then I leave the game, and I continue to still exist. Anyway, just some jumbled thoughts here that I'm trying to work on. If you have any suggestions or any ideas or any links to send me about any other conversations, or if you have any comments, just let me know. Thanks.